Welcome to your Tech News Today, a podcast about keeping you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. We'll get started in just a moment. Right now, we'd like to recognize our partners who help make this podcast possible. It's Monday, November 12th. I'm Mike James. Coming up in a bit, we'll tell you about a serious problem with the new iPhone. Plus, a number of medical devices are being hacked, and how could you be affected? And Chrome has a new way to identify scammer websites. All that and more in Tech News Today. Apple just announced some new problems for the iPhone X, just what you want after shelling out $1,000 for it. They're saying you might run into some serious problems with the iPhone X's display. Apparently, people are having problems with the touchscreen due to a failing component on the display module. A couple of different problems may come up from this. The first one is the display or part of the display doesn't respond to all, or it responds sporadically to touch. The second issue is that the display might start to react even if it wasn't touched. Of course, neither is good. The last thing you need is a rogue touchscreen flipping out. And before you get too upset, though, know that Apple has worked out a replacement program to fix the problem. Apple or an authorized service provider will replace the display module on eligible devices free of charge. The iPhone X is the only model that is part of this program, and it's covered for 3 years. Another thing to keep in mind is Apple said if your device has any damage which impairs the ability to complete the repair, such as a cracked screen, that issue will need to be resolved prior to the service. In some cases, there may be a cost associated with the additional repair, so if your screen is cracked, you're most likely going to have to pay to have it fixed first. Also, if you've already ran into one of these touch issues and paid to have it fixed, check with Apple, and you might be able to get reimbursed for that. Apple's problems don't end there. It's found another issue with the certain MacBook Pro laptops, and it's started another service program for those. Now, if you have a MacBook Pro laptop, go ahead and find out what's going on with those by heading over to Commando.com and read our article titled iPhone and MacBook Pro Have Huge Problems. Well, you probably wouldn't be surprised at the number of hackers in the world that are trying to rip you off if you don't assume right now that someone somewhere in a dark room is tapping on a computer keyboard and trying to get into at least one of your accounts. Well, you're kind of behind the times. But what might shock you is how they're doing it and who they're targeting. According to the Better Business Bureau, the number of medical data breaches has seriously been on the rise. A law passed in 2009 requires healthcare providers to report medical data breaches that impact at least 500 people. And since then, nearly 2,200 breaches have been reported, resulting in the exposure of over 176 million healthcare records. And things are only getting worse. Number of breaches has climbed every year since records started being kept. And in 2017, it was the worst year ever. This year, through October, there have been already 306 medical breaches reported, with almost 30 last month alone. It's a huge problem. If criminals' health information gets mixed with yours, your treatments, insurance records, and personal information and credit report could all be impacted. Not only that, but if your medical data is stolen, thieves can use it to commit identity theft, not just medical fraud either. They can use your information to apply for loans and government benefits or pile up fraudulent charges on credit cards taken out in your name. One way to protect yourself is to read everything that gets mailed to you from your doctors and insurance companies. If you see anything suspicious, you'll need to contact your provider or your insurance company as soon as possible. Just ahead, a new feature coming to Google Chrome that you're going to love. Right now, let me tell you about the Epson Fast Photo Scanner. Kim Commando may be America's digital pro, but even she enjoys forgetting tech when it comes to the new Epson Fast Photo Scanner. You can scan stacks of photos from wallet size to 8x10, even Polaroids. And Fast Photo offers automatic two-sided scanning too, so you can capture any handwritten notes on the back, damaged or faded photos. Fast Photo has the software to automatically restore your memories, and best of all, it's super easy. Order yours today when you visit Epson.com. That's the Epson Fast Photo Scanner. Hey, are you one of the billion people using Google Chrome? Well, if so, this next big update will come with a new feature that will really help identify sites with deceptive practices. Starting with Chrome 71, which will be out soon, Chrome will warn you when you visit a web page that uses deceptive forms to sign you up for mobile subscriptions. These sites are asking visitors to enter their mobile information in order to access certain content. When you enter your number, you're given access to that content, but you're also being signed up for a mobile subscription. Usually right under the spot where you enter the mobile number in some sort of very fine print, they explain what you're getting yourself into, but does anybody really read that stuff anyway? Well, probably not. Well, now, Google is adding a billing category to its safe browsing feature that will keep track of sites performing deceptive billing like this. If you visit a page that's been flagged, you'll see a warning pop up that says, "The page ahead may try to charge you money." That's a quote. You can choose to proceed or just go back and avoid the issue. Well, smartphone apps can be fun and useful, whether you're using it for Uber or Amazon or whatever you're doing, Christmas shopping. But there's some apps that can do even better as far as even saving your life. Heart monitor apps on fitness trackers is what I'm talking about. Your smartwatch or smartphone can keep track of your heart health now. A new app can detect a heart attack almost as good as a standard medical test. One app uses the sensors on your health monitor or smartwatch to take a look at your heart. It can detect a specific kind of heart attack caused by a blocked artery just as well as an electrocardiogram. During the study, doctors moved a smartwatch around a volunteer's body and were able to detect a heart attack almost as good as an EKG, which uses 12 points of contact. And because your Apple Watch or Fitbit might be able to tell if you're having a serious heart attack even before the paramedics arrive, you know every second that you can save is key when your life's on the line. Now, this app isn't available to the public yet, but if you have or know of someone who has health issues, we'll let you know as soon as it's available. Well, it's Christmas movie season, ready or not, and Netflix has a special way to get all the best holiday movies that it has on its site. We recently heard about a bunch of genres that you can find with special codes on Netflix. And if you don't remember, just go to commander.com and search the secret Netflix codes. Now Netflix has a bunch of codes for Christmas movies on the site. And when you do a Netflix search, again, go to commander.com and we'll walk you through the way to do this. You can unlock special genres. For example, you can find family-friendly Christmas films or Christmas films for kids, 5 to 7, romantic Christmas films, films from the 90s, British and European family films, and many, many more. Just go to commander.com and search secret Netflix codes, and you'll have all the great Christmas movies for your family for the season. Coming up in just a bit, one setting that will help you save your battery. Right now, a word from our friends who help make this podcast possible. Of course, we all deal with draining batteries. You can use your phone all day, and then by afternoon, you're looking for a place to plug it in, get some more battery juice. Well, now, Android is confirming something we've always suspected. Setting your phone to dark mode saves battery power. You might have dark mode running on your phone just to save your eyes, but you can also save power with that mode. At a recent Android Summit for developers, Android said that black on the screen used the least amount of power, followed by red, green, and blue. Of course, white used the most amount of power. When Android phones are set to dark mode at 50% screen brightness, it saves 14% of the power it would otherwise use. At 100% power, dark mode saves a whopping 60% of the power. So why do many apps use the white backgrounds? Well, partly because Google recommends that to its developers. Now, that might someday change, but for now, Android can be set to a dark theme in the quick settings pull-down, but there is no system-wide dark mode so far. Here's an epic overreaction. A man in Sweden got upset that he couldn't get into his Bitcoin account at CryptoPay. He emailed the company last year asking for a new password, but the company said that was against their policy, so he sent them a pipe bomb. Yeah, Jermu Salonen sent a padded envelope to 2 CryptoPay employees last year. It took a while to get to the company's offices. When it did, employees opened it in a way that probably saved their lives. Instead of opening the package flap, they tore it in half down the middle and became suspicious, then called police. The device was defused and processed, and Interpol tracked down Salonen. The guy had a history of mail terror. Apparently, he also had sent a white powder substance to Swedish lawmakers, including the Prime Minister, last year, along with a note that said, quote, "You will soon be dead." Salonen's computer confirmed that he had an account with CryptoPay and that he had searched for bomb-making instructions on the web. When officials raided his house, they found a number of bomb-making parts. Salonen has been sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. By the way, once you're done listening to our podcast, if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe so you get our podcast downloaded to your phone automatically. And finally, for today's Commando Kicker, marine biologists studying Hawaii's coral reefs discovered 2 rust-colored critters floating on plastic debris, and upon closer inspection, they turned out to be miniature versions of octopuses. The beautiful little creatures were scooped up and placed in a plastic container of water until they could be returned to the ocean and their natural habitat. We hope they're doing well. And for more fun and interesting facts, go to commando.com and search for the Commando Kicker. That's your tech news today. Now, if you're itching and scratching for some Black Friday deals, we have a new Commando On Demand podcast coming out on Tuesday that's all about Black Friday and the best Black Friday deals. We hope you check it out at podnet.com or your favorite podcast player. Just search KOMANDO and look for Commando On Demand. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.